infected, needle. I mean, that's
Right.
crazy. I mean, to
Yeah.
even think that somebody would do that. I
Mhm.
mean, I mean, Shug is just crazy though. That's the thing that he's done crazy shit. It makes me
I
think
would I would
I wouldn't
imagine.
think he was above that.
Yeah. But if
Yeah,
he did that, I would imagine, if it happened in a tussle and all of that, I'm sure after he caught A's, he would probably be like,
this guy gave it to
before
me.
I go, this
Yeah,
motherfucker stuck me with something a few days, a couple of
yeah,
days
yeah.
ago. Y'all better look into him.
Okay, all right. So yeah. I mean, I just wanted to bring that one out because I ain't never heard it. It's kind of random. I think it Shug saying something on Jimmy Kimmel kind of gave it more life because
Yeah.
for me, I just think it is the baseball bats and I'm gonna hang you upside down off the rail. I mean, I'm not saying he's not above going all the way through because we already know he would do that stuff.
Yeah.
But um, but yeah, and I'm just talking about what everybody knows. I'm not talking shit about Shug. I know last time I was talking about Master P, and this is not me talking shit about Shug or anything like that. This is just shit that I'm seeing online and on in this the conspiracy uh, website. So now the last one, really, I feel like we could have. It might be something I bring up later in when we talk about violence in hip hop or one of this whatever whatever we do that we when we're coming up with our topics. Um, so the last one is okay. Sorry, I have my papers all mixed up. Record labels own stock in prison, so they sell music that sends people to prison.
I read a story about some secret meeting with the artists
Mm-hmm.
that they were supposed to, again, you know, I don't know if it really happened or not. I don't know if that is a thing, but it's not far fetched on a business scale.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if certain record labels are, have some stocks or some money in some, there's
Mm-hmm.
people have come out. We found out that certain people, even some people in politics, are
Mm-hmm.
set up that way,
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly don't think that there is a conspiracy to manufacture music to control the minds of the oppressed so they end up going to prison. Because first
Mm-hmm.
of all, the way things are structured, we don't need music to end up there. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? People are being disenfranchised and oppressed. If there was no music, period, people are still going to have a pipeline from being poor,
Mm-hmm.
starving, and doing whatever they need to do to survive, which may include dealing drugs or stealing or whatever the hell they got to do. That's going to go right to prison. There's a
Mm-hmm.
pipeline from poverty right to prison,
Mm-hmm.
So we don't need music for that. So there doesn't need to be any devious plan because there's not like somebody's out there like all the prisons in the US are overpopulated, number one,
Mm-hmm.
and have always been. We've
Mm-hmm.
always locked up the majority, a great majority of our citizens here. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So don't nobody need to come with a plan and be like, man, we need about 500,000 more.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we ought to make them rap about doing the things that,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Now, is somebody out there that maybe, a little bigoted, you know, maybe
Mm-hmm.
they got some funds in the, I don't think that's far fetched, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, this is funny because now we're on a topic that we had discussed not too long ago, and I'm on the side that I feel like that there could be a conspiracy for that by some of these prisons and record labels buying into to these prisons through stocks or whatever and keeping this going
Yeah.
and mainly what I was thinking about what made me think that this could be true was because of the fact that when hip hop first started we were talking about how positive everybody was and I was talking to somebody today about how every rapper that came out back in the day kind of had their albums were just chock full of different topics. So you had the gangster song, you had the rap fast song, you had the song that was socially conscious, you had your I'm a pimp song, or everyone kind of was able to touch on all these different subjects. And so I feel that at a certain point, KRS-One, you had your X Clan, you had your Public Enemies, you had your Tribes, you had your Jungle Brothers, you had people that were going in directions that were not gangster. De La Soul, come on, they were like the biggest thing back then, and this is what I mean though, is that they, at a certain point, NWA comes out. I mean, we already had Schoolie D, we had a couple of, people that were kind of gangster, but at the same time, NWA comes out and it is just pushed. Ice-T comes out and it's just pushed. Ghetto Boys comes out and it's just pushed. And then it's like, wow, this music sells like crazy. And Slap, you made a really good point, and I made a point to talk to other people at work that I talk about hip hop with. That the point you made about the violence and negativity sells.
Yeah.
People gravitate towards it.
It's like an action-packed movie. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Blockbusters. Everybody runs and sees that. Now, as far as hip hop being in the beginning, I guarantee, without having been there, that there were some folks on the block in the very beginning of hip hop rapping the gangster stuff. As much as they had, gangbangers back then. You know what I'm saying? And
That's a good point.
So they
That's a good point. Yeah, they were probably scared. Yeah, their record labels were probably scared to push that out there, right? Because you couldn't get that on the radio.
Right? Well, maybe not, maybe at first, but the thing is somebody took a chance by grabbing some people to make a record. Now it was these people, the entertainers, the Sugar Hill Gang that put together. So that makes sense, and this is why we think all of rap in the beginning was happy-go-lucky. That's because this particular act got put on by Sylvia. That's her name.
Sylvia Johnson, right?
Yeah. So that's what happened. Now, we know at first all of these rap dudes, they was like, that shit is whack. What are you doing? Making a record, spreading it out. You know what I'm saying? But as it caught on, well then we got to remember hip hop was born in the streets. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It is very connected to poverty, and projects and neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? And low income. It's came out of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be the language. The language is going to rise. You're going to have a big, vast topics, and there still are. Speaking of KRS-One, he just dropped another album. He got some dope songs on in the beginning. Yeah. But you're gonna always have, but just like any blockbuster movie, Star Wars, Marvel, all of that shit's killing it every time they make you know what I mean? Because people want to see all of that action and special effects and I mean, and it's the same thing with music, It's theatrical, you hear the words, it's like watching an action movie, it's like Boys in the Hood on wax, the movie, or Belly.
I still subscribe to the theory that it was pushed through this thing.
No, yeah,
I really do. I want to believe that things just naturally progress to the places that they get. But I have to think that the people that run these record labels, and they are looking at where the money's going. But I mean, it wasn't like Public Enemy wasn't selling records. It wasn't like Tribe Called Quest wasn't selling records. It wasn't like some of these more positive artists weren't selling records. But all of a sudden, they were just pushed to the side.
Let me tell you, this is what happens. This is what happens, especially in neighborhoods, right? Before rap, when Malcolm X was around and trying to spread the message, there were some people that took unfavorable, even with Black Panthers, when they were trying to spread the message. Folks in the hood was like, Nigga,
Nah, we
leave me
don't want to
alone
hear
with all
that.
of that.
Yeah, we don't want to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
talking
want to sell. I want to make my money on the street.
right,
I want,
right,
pimp my hoes. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
So
I feel you.
the point of that is that's exactly how the music went. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That's why Public Enemy and them, they got a staple. They got to run every time they come out. They got fans. They got core fans. But this music has blown up. It's blockbuster every time something like that comes out. And Public Enemy, they got their core fans, but it would be a little different for them to try to go back into the streets now and be like, hey, young brother, you know what I mean? You're like, man, on my face with that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some people are going to be, So, yeah, was it pushed? Of course, because, this is capitalist,
It's a capitalist society.
we got to make, it's about making money. So you're going to, it makes money. This is what we're going to do.
Let's do it.
But there's still other people, there's something for whatever you may like that's out there, which is good. But as long as we got these major companies, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah. Well,
now I don't necessarily think there's some kind of special connection. Like I said, it's not far-fetched, but like I said, for somebody to sit down at a table with other people and write down on paper some plan, some dubious plan to, you know what I mean, come up with a pipeline through music to prison, and now we're going to fill our pockets. Record companies have always raped rap artists anyway.
And,
you know what I'm saying?
Most artists,
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, yeah, and that's a whole nother topic, man, talking about how rappers and musicians are taking it back with NFTs, taking it back with digital sales, taking it back with live streams and things like that, where they just don't have their hand in this no more,
Right.
And that'll show our age, you know what I mean, as far as how far back we go with it, trying to get a record deal and get your 1%, of everything, all that stuff. But anyways, that was a pretty deep conversation, man. I really appreciated that one. That conspiracy thing for me, that's I love going over that kind of stuff, and of course hearing what you got to say about it, because Slapp don't. He's gonna shoot it all down. You know what I mean? All down, pretty much all down. I'm trying to find the one that he's like, you know what? I haven't found one yet.
Like I said, I'm open. I'm open because I do have a saying, and although I can talk away a lot of things, but I also still believe that everything can be true.
Yeah. True that. Well, all right. Well, that is it for the Mad Slapp Podcast episode 2, and we're going to be sending out social media blasts. We're going to put some links below, because this one is going to be on YouTube until we figure out how to get it on other platforms that do video. But for now, that's where it is for people who want to see what we look like. And we're going to continue to grow, and we really want people to comment and like and share and heart and do whatever to say that you love it or you don't love it. We want to hear all of it. So
suggest some topics.
Yes, exactly. Suggest some topics, because I'm just gonna throw them out there. So if you can suggest some stuff that you'd like us to talk about, that'd be dope too. But also make sure that in the YouTube or anything, subscribe, like, heart it, comment. Share it. You know what I mean? Because we trying to build, man, and we love this thing we call hip hop, for real. So peace, y'all.
Peace.
Hold it now. I just came to motivate. Mad Slapp to bob your head and elevate. Mad Slapp, get you to participate.